Hi everyone, Sunday the 13th of December. I'm just going to pop my tomatoes into the final pots before they go into the grow bags. I'll quickly show you now how I do it, and I'll show you the mix that I use in a second that I've just been knocking up near the shed, so I'll just show you quickly. Right, so this is the mix that I use. Perlite, compost. I'll show you another little trick in a minute that I picked up along the way over the few years as I've been doing it. Right then, I'm going to show you an Alicante. Now then, the tomatoes that were in the 50% vermiculite and 50% compost, I've used up all the nutrients that are now in the compost, because there's not a lot of compost in it. They start to turn a little bit yellow. Now this is an indication that these now need to be potted on. Okay? Because they need the nutrients from more compost. Okay, so it's dead simple. You go up to them first true leaves at the bottom, you bury them that deep. Now I've already took this one out of the Alicante, this one. I've took this one out of the pot just so it makes it easy for him to get out. Now I would never ever handle my tomatoes like this, but I have to for the camera. So I'm quite literally just going to grab the stem, because I just want to show you the root system. Okay, look at that. What a beautiful root system. Now then, so in we go, into the hole, right down, push it in a little bit, and then you're burying it up to them first leaves. You can even bury them first leaves right underneath if you want to, because they will then create another root system. There's some tiny little hairs on the stems that will start shooting out now once that gets into there. I know people might be thinking I'm a little bit early, and I probably could be, because you know, all risk of frost hasn't gone yet. But what I do, I just take them into the house and I just literally put them in the kitchen, on the kitchen floor. If there's a forecast, if there's a frost forecast, I say that without your teeth in. If there's a frost forecast, and then I put them in the kitchen and leave them on the kitchen floor, and then obviously bring them back out into there, but they'll be absolutely fine. Now, don't be compressing this too much. What you don't want to be doing is compacting that soil. Now you see these yellow leaves, they'll probably die back, to be honest with you, like they did last year, but that's not a major issue. So if anyone's doing this as an experiment or a trial, just make sure that you realise that that's what the yellowing of the leaves means at the bottom on these pots. This is because there's no nutrients left in the soil. I can't stress that enough. So this is the time now that they get potted on. Okay, so we've got a little label on it so we know where we are, and then all I do is into a tray of water, and we let that soak it up. Now that'll take 2 lots of water, as these have done. Now these are, oh God, sorry, these are the ones I've done a little bit earlier on, just so I can get them out of the way. Okay, so they'll start shooting up now. Now, another tip as well, what you don't want to do is you do not want to water them from the top. Okay, you must water these from the bottom, so that all that great root system you've created doesn't get compacted, and the roots will send out into that new compost and find the nutrients that they need. Okay, and this is a mix of perlite and compost. This is the final pot. They're not going in a pot any bigger than that. But what I will then do with them is they will then go into grow bags. And that's then when you have to start watering through the top. Okay? Are you all with this so far? Right. Let me now show you how. A little bit windy today. Beautiful weather. I'm just using Verve compost. Okay. In one of my trusty wine boxes. Who we're using today? Oh, another Chateau Neuf de Pape. But everybody thinks I'm necking wine all the time. Right, perlite, Verve perlite. Okay, from B&Q. That's all I've got. 10 litres. Now then, into this pot of compost, I just tip what I think is going to look like enough. Okay, now you've seen the pots in there then. So it's a good lot, and I mean a good lot. I'd probably say that this is probably a 75-25. I know I've heard people talking about doing it in 50-50, but I probably wouldn't do 50-50. Not that I've not anything against it, I just have never done it before. And again, I'm teaching my grandmother how to suck eggs here, but you just mix it up until you can see. You want it looking like the ones I've put in the pots, so, you know, like that kind of, you know, where you can just see it, but not too much. Okay, you give that a mix up. Now then, my secret ingredient is oyster shell. Okay, this is what I feed my chickens. I put this into the feeder once a week, and it gives them the calcium that they need to create eggshells. And all I do, and I just pour one. Right. 3 handfuls. Okay, now there was just enough left in that bag. Okay, so you can see that. It's just oyster shell. Okay, I don't know if that focused in then. That's a little bit of oyster shell. There goes the bag blowing away in the wind. Okay, and you give it all a good mix, and you get that in your pot. Now when it goes in your pot, do not compact your pot down. Okay, you want it to be nice and loose. Okay guys, well that's it. That's how I put my tomatoes on into the final pot. Okay, now they'll start flying up now then. Okay, that's it. That's how I do it. Into the grow bags next, which again another video that'll show you. Okay, just one tip, you please make sure that these get watered from the bottom. If you're doing it my way, don't water them through the top. Okay guys, speak to you all soon.